Welcome back. In August 2025, the Department of Justice released a series of highly anticipated interview transcripts with Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted associate of Jeffrey Epstein. Within hours, headlines exploded. Why? Because in those pages, Maxwell made remarks about former President Donald Trump that supporters call vindication and critics call suspicious. Today, we break down what she said, what it means, and why these transcripts have sparked yet another storm of debate. To understand why this release is such a flashpoint, let's start with some background. Ghislaine Maxwell, once a British socialite and business associate of financier Jeffrey Epstein, was convicted in 2021 for sex trafficking minors. She is now serving a 20-year federal sentence. The interviews in question were conducted by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a figure who once represented Trump in court, raising immediate questions about impartiality. The release itself comes after months of public pressure for transparency in the Epstein investigation, as speculation over the so-called client list and high-profile connections refuses to fade. So, what exactly did Maxwell say? In the transcripts, Maxwell repeatedly emphasizes that she never witnessed Donald Trump behaving inappropriately toward anyone. She calls him, quote, a gentleman in all respects. She also denied having any knowledge of the infamous client list, dismissing it as a myth. When pressed about conspiracy theories, including those suggesting Epstein worked for intelligence agencies, she brushed them off, insisting there was nothing of the sort. These carefully chosen words are now at the center of a polarized conversation. For Trump's base, the comments are being treated as confirmation of what they've said for years, that Trump's connection to Epstein was surface level and never criminal. MAGA-aligned influencers and commentators shared the quotes across social media within minutes. Conservative media outlets ran segments praising Maxwell's statement as proof that Trump is, as one host put it, clean as a whistle. They argue that if anyone would know the inner workings of Epstein's world, it would be Maxwell, and her testimony should close the door on speculation about Trump. Critics, however, are not buying it. For many on the other side of the political spectrum, Maxwell's credibility is deeply compromised. They point out that she is still serving time and actively pursuing legal appeals, meaning her motives could be self-serving. Advocacy groups for Epstein survivors have spoken out as well, calling her words offensive and warning that they could be used to downplay the trauma experienced by victims. Several political leaders, including Representative Robert Garcia, have labeled the testimony unreliable, calling it a desperate attempt to rewrite history. The transcripts also raise serious legal and ethical questions. First, there's the issue of impartiality. Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General who conducted the interview, has past ties to Trump. While officials insist the interview was handled professionally, critics see this as a clear conflict of interest. Second, there's the question of timing. Why release the transcripts now? Some analysts argue that the move is meant to project transparency while simultaneously shifting attention away from other legal and political challenges facing Trump. And finally, there's the broader question of how these statements fit into the ongoing pursuit of justice for Epstein's victims, a pursuit many say remains incomplete. To fully understand the reactions, we need to revisit Trump's historical relationship with Epstein. In the 1990s, Trump and Epstein moved in the same high society circles. They attended the same events, were photographed together, and Epstein was even a guest at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Trump has long maintained that he cut ties with Epstein after reports of his behavior surfaced, and he has never been charged with any crimes related to Epstein's operations. For critics, that history, those photographs, those connections, means Maxwell's praise should be met with caution. For supporters, it's just one more reason to believe the narrative that Trump's involvement was minimal at best. So, what does this mean for public opinion? For Trump's base, the transcripts reinforce a narrative of innocence and unfair targeting, a talking point that's likely to be repeated on campaign trails and media appearances in the coming weeks. For his critics, the transcripts highlight the need for skepticism, especially given Maxwell's legal situation and the political implications of the interview itself. And for the general public, the release is another reminder of the complex and often opaque world of power, influence, and accountability. The release of the Maxwell transcripts underscores one undeniable truth. Perception often matters more than facts. A single phrase, "a gentleman in all respects," can dominate headlines, shape narratives, and deepen divides. Whether this release marks the end of speculation about Trump and Epstein, or simply fuels the fire remains to be seen. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is certain: the intersection of politics, power, and public opinion is more charged than ever.